Hello everybody, it's Holger Mueller here from Constellation Research with my fabulous co-host for this long 50, Liz Miller. Hey Liz.
What's happening, Holger? We have got an amazing new guest in the salon.
Exactly, a man of culture, a man of the Commonwealth, and a man of Ceridian, nobody else than David Ossip. Thanks for being here, David.
Hey guys, pleasure to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready for the fastest 5 questions in enterprise software?
I think I'm doing well here. I've got the list up in front of me. All 50 questions or so. I'm ready to go.
Excellent. And you're our guest, David, so you can pick the first category, ask the first question, can say if you want the answer from Liz or me.
Great. I'm going to go for Liz. Liz, who was your personal hero?
Oh, my dad. That's the easy one. My dad, absolutely. Well, I guess it's a combination of my dad and my mom. I mean, my mom's kind of a badass, if I'm allowed to curse for a second. Came from Korea, ended up with a PhD in gerontology and sociology, kind of did it all on her own, and managed to not mess up, hopefully, a kid too badly. So definitely mom or dad, always right up there at the top. Okay, David, what's your least favorite word?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, interesting.
I like that. Okay, David, you got to fire another one off.
Okay, I'm going to go after Holger over here. If you had to take another job, what would it be?
Good one, yeah. No, I love the industry analyst job, but I probably would go maybe back to building software. Maybe if I can pull it up, be a coach of something. Maybe go back to volleyball. Maybe go back to fitness or something. Not sure if you can make a living with that, but that's what I would get back for. This was on the career category, David?
That was a career category.
Yeah, okay. So my question for you, what trait has helped you most in business?
Persistence.
And how do you
I like
learn
the
that?
persistence and the no. I'm getting a general trend here, David, that there was not a whole lot of stopping you.
There's no persistence here.
Yeah, no's different. No's an obstacle to moving forward. And often if you're someone like me where you create businesses, you are going to come across a lot of people who will give you reasons as to why it's not possible, why it can't be done. And if you want to disrupt, you have to move forward. So you need to see possibilities. Persistence goes hand in hand because as in most things in life, it takes a long time to get going. And there's a lot of times where you're exhausted and you're tired and it might not be going well and you might have to reboot and go a different direction. But I find that if you just stay with it and persist with it, with kind of a sense of optimism, you overcome and you do stuff. And that's been my philosophy.
Love that. Okay, questions yours.
Great. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to go back to Liz over here. And let me try this one. If you can choose starting tomorrow, work in the office or work from home?
Well, I think that's probably the unfair question since all of Constellation is virtual. So I think it would be a massive culture shock for all of us if we had to work in the office. That, and I'm not sure Holger and I would get a whole lot done because we'd be nitpicking and arguing with each other too much because that's just us. But it's interesting. I will say, socially, I'm a person who likes the office, but for actual work and focus, which I really need in this job, I'm saying staying at home. It's been a good path.
You just moved home, right? So did you upgrade your home?
I did. No, a little bit. Yeah, upgraded the home, upgraded the office a little bit. So I'm enjoying it. Okay. What was your favorite job so far in your career?
I haven't had many jobs, would be the way that I'll describe it. The one job I had coming out of college lasted only a few weeks. At the time, I was working in a bank and saw an opportunity to do something a bit different. And so kind of wrote a piece of software, went back to the bank, resigned and sold them the piece of software.
Okay.
Overall, I wouldn't put myself as a kind of an A+ employee in that regard.
So I have to ask David, was it a workforce management slanted kind of software for the bank?
No, it was a risk management. It was how do banks price risk in the pricing of the various types of instruments, and how do you allocate capital, abide by the BIS guidelines, and do kind of pricing across the entire relationship. Surprisingly, not many people I think know that I actually come out of more of a quant background. Workforce management and HCM is something I just fell across.
So now I have to blow our schedule out. So how did you even get into workforce management? Why didn't you stay in risk? There's much more money to be made there than with this difficult scheduling and other stuff and HR stuff. I mean, banks have more money for capital management than for HR software.
So, my history is I started off, and I was a very young kid. I was just out of college, and I had sold this risk management system to one of the big banks in Canada, the CIBC. And I went off to business school, and at business school, all of the job offers I was getting was in strategy consulting around banking. And I didn't really want to become a strategic consultant. I tried it for a summer, and it just wasn't for me. It goes back into that, not a great employee.
Can't wear t-shirts in the sea, right?
Yeah, and at the same time, my dad, who I really admire, had a number of businesses. One of them was in workforce management in Southern Africa. And him and his partner had built the solid state device to do access control on time and attendance, really across industry, across mining in that particular region. And it was a small company, about 5 people, and they were making about $5 million of cash profit per year. And I thought, hey, wow, this could be a great idea. So in my final half year at business school, I called out to 550 different organizations in the Massachusetts area. And I surveyed them as to, hey, what would you look for in a workforce management system? What are you currently using? Compared it to the tech being used in that region to the tech being used in North America, and found that the tech had actually leapfrogged North America for a bunch of different reasons. So when I graduated, I deferred one of these strategy positions, and off I went to South Africa, and I sat there for about 6 months, and I learned the hardware, and I rewrote the software, and I brought that back to North America in about 93. And that company grew like wildfire. Huge customers like Toyota and Michelin, Schneider, Siemens. And that company was sold in 97 to a Japanese company.
Right.
And then, as you know, I moved over to another workforce management company before starting Dayforce and such. So that's how I landed into it.
Wow.
Yeah. Because if you're listening to this, and if you're looking at workforce management scheduling, there's a high chance that David has his fingers in the system.
He's written something in there. I love it.
You can't escape an Ossip system, right? Like three times workforce management. Yeah.
We're now working with one of the airlines, and the system we're replacing is a system that I wrote in 97.
Oh God. Were you like,
so
boy, sorry.
That was my reaction.
You need somebody who knows that. Excellent.
That's awesome. Right. That's awesome.
Your turn, David. Ask a question.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Holger over here. What inspires you and inspires others? By the way, I would have no idea how to answer such a question.
Good. You picked wisely, right? How to inspire? What inspires me is making a difference, right? So if I know I made a difference, doesn't matter if it's personal or if it's professional, whatever, you know that you've done something good that day. And if I know somebody did something where I have to think 2-3 times or gave me a new perspective, I really appreciate that. And that only happens a few times a week, without trying to sound arrogant or whatever, but we hear a lot of repetitive stuff all the time. But those are the golden moments, right? Where you know something, you learn something new, right? Like today, how did David Ossip get into workforce management, right? So very good.
By being a bad employee. That's what I'm going with. That's my summary of all of that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with the deserted island one because it's a classic, right? Which 3 things would you take on a deserted island, David?
Is there power on the island?
All right, we'll give you power. Right? That's power.
Hey, I'm taking my trainer. I'm taking my bike trainer, my Wahoo Kicker trainer. That's one, and I'm assuming that I can get Swift and I can have like some form of screen.
We give you internet, water, food, it's all there.
This certain island is getting fancy. But
So that's one. Two has to be my family.
Okay.
Right, and then the third one, that's an interesting one. So I've got my family, I've got the bike thing. I probably would take my gravel bike.
Okay.
okay.
So they
So you're
didn't ask us
staying
to
fit on
travel
the
on the
internet.
island. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
No, I'm
like
sure
it.
I can ride on something with that thing.
Yeah, there's something.
Very good.
Okay, we got our last category to wrap us up here.
Great. What have I missed here? I have got the
Hobbies.
Hobbies.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this one question, which it is an obvious answer to it at this particular time. And Liz, I'm going to give you a hint. The right answer would have been appropriate as of yesterday. What is your favorite sports to watch on TV?
Oh gosh,
Now, there is a right answer to this question.
there is a right answer to this question. Okay, so I will say that I do enjoy watching football and not the American kind. Well, I do like watching the American kind, but what I do really enjoy watching, I do watch a lot of soccer. I don't watch as much as Holger, because Holger will watch it, like, he'll have like 19 different games going at the same time, but then if AC Milan's playing, everyone else is ignored. But yeah, I do, and then he flashes his jersey and his kit. But yes, I do. Soccer is up there. I will say that hockey comes kind of after that. So football and hockey are my top two things to watch on TV.
The Canadians,
like every good California girl says. Okay, David, let's see. What is the skill or hobby that you had as a kid that you've forgotten as an adult?
You know, Liz, I'll say that I was, completely unqualified, unskilled at almost everything. So, so I can't say I was a great soccer player, cricket player, basketball player. I'm going to kind of write.
Your ears and your nose are intact, so I know you didn't play rugby.
Yeah. So later on, I became a bit of a wrestler and a bit of a runner type of thing. I don't know if there's much of a skill set in running other than kind of putting one foot in front of the other, right? And if you can kind of walk, hopefully you can walk quickly and you can kind of run. So I don't know if there's a skill on that. Academically, that came a lot later on. Wasn't that strong in the early years. So I would have to say not much carries.
That's okay. Well, then let me ask you this. I'm going to ask the bonus question of favorite snack when you were a kid.
A Kit Kat.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
See, that's
everyone
a good one.
who knows me kind of works with me. They know if they want something, they lead with the Kit Kat.
That's the stress food. You bring in the Kit
David
Kat.
a Kit
Okay,
Kat,
I
right?
like it. I like
Starts
it.
with a C too, right? Kit Kat? No, just kidding.
No, K. God, Holger, stop renaming
Yes, yes,
things.
yes.
Goodness gracious. Hey, David,
Perfect.
thanks so much for coming in and being part of the Salon 50. It has really been so great to get to know you, and I hope people now know it's okay not to necessarily be the best employee. You just got to be the fastest.
Most persistent, Liz, most
The
persistent.
most persistent.
And
Exactly.
build the hard
And
stuff,
don't
right?
take no as an answer.
Don't take
take
no.
no.
Don't take no, but always bring a Kit Kat.
That's right.
Thank you, David.
Lead with optimism.
Love it.
Thank you, David.
Love
Really
it.
appreciate
Holger,
it. Thanks
there's
for
always
coming on.
fun with you guys.
Thanks, you.
Thanks,
Good,
David.
guys. Bye bye.